welcome back to my channel. So some of you who know me or who follow me on my Instagram know that I compete in beauty pageants. I did start competing in beauty pageants a little later on in life. I had already had my son and I was already married to my husband. But that is definitely a story that I would love to share with you guys. If that's something you guys would like to hear about, let me know. I'll definitely make a video about that because that in itself is a journey. And I would love to do a story time video and talk to you guys about how I got involved, and just love to, have just a sit down, and maybe one day while I'm doing my makeup or something, I can go ahead and do like a story time and do my makeup and talk to you guys about that, how I started competing in pageants. But today's video is going to be more about how competing in pageants has helped my walk as a Christian woman. So one of the first things that competing in pageant has taught me is community. How important it is to surround yourself with like-minded people. In my case, like-minded women. Women who encourage you. Women who are there for you. There's a lot of misconceptions. That's a hard word for me to say. There's a lot of misconceptions with beauty pageants. I know at the end of the day, yes, it is a competition and there's going to only be one winner in each category. But if you really understand the heart of beauty pageants, it's not just about competing and winning the crown. It's about the journey. It's about the people you're going to meet, the friendships you're going to make. I love that in pageants we call each other sister queens, because at the end of the day, that's what this is. It's a sisterhood. It's a band of women that even if you are competing against each other, you guys can come out of this becoming the best of friends. I know with me that some of the girls that I've competed against with are some of my dearest friends, are some of my bestest friends, and like my dearest friends. I do have a friend that I do see like at least once or twice a year when she comes up here for her job, and we always find a way to try to see each other, have lunch together, make an appearance together. And it's just become something that we've been doing every year since we've competed at our pageants. And again, we competed against each other, and we just became the greatest friends. Last year when I competed in Belleza Latina, Miss Belleza Latina International, she became one of my really good friends, and we still talk to this day, and where we always text each other. And I know that she's definitely like one person that I can count on, that I can call if I have something, a question or anything. I know that she's there to give me a hand. So it's the same thing. When you are a follower of Christ, it is very, very important for you to surround yourself with community, with a band of men and women who are like-minded, who have the same beliefs as you, who will encourage you, who will pray for you. That's very, very important. For me, with my walk as a Christian, I've learned that having that sense of community is vital. For me to grow spiritually, I definitely need to surround myself with people who want the same thing, who will encourage me, who will motivate me, who will motivate me and will push me. People who I know that I can call and be like, hey, I need you to agree in prayer with me about this. And I found that community of women, and it's awesome. And not just women, but just everyone. So competing in pageants has definitely taught me that community is important. Having women around you to encourage you and to support you and to pray for you and to be there for you is definitely something that will help me grow spiritually. That will help a person grow spiritually, and vice versa. You can be that person. I can be that person for somebody else. I can be their encourager. I can be somebody who can just pray. If they need it, if there's something that they may need, I can be that person for them. And I've learned that through competing in pageants. Last year, my competition was my roommate, and we helped each other. She needed a pair of earrings, I got you. I needed something, she had me. That's the sense of community, and that's the sense of encouragement that I am taking from pageantry, and I am taking it as my walk as a Christian, to just be there and just be supportive and help those who may need it at that moment, because one day I might be the one who may need that encouragement and need that support and that prayer. Another thing that pageantry has taught me: service. Amazing how similar this part of pageantry and my walk as a Christian go hand in hand. One of the things that drew me in the most with competing in pageantry is an opportunity to serve my community. Volunteering has been something that I've enjoyed doing even before I started working. I mean, technically, yes, it's a job. So I've had so many opportunities. I've helped feed people in need. I've picked up garbage from parks. I've worked in fundraisers. It's just an amazing thing. Just being able to be the hands and feet of Jesus here on earth. That right there to me is what I feel like I've been put on this earth to do, is to serve my community. Competing in pageants gives me that opportunity. It gives me that platform to go and serve others before myself. As a Christian, you have to put others before yourself. There was this Bible verse that I read in the book of Mark that said, in order to be first, you have to be last and serve all. And that right there just sums all of that up. Competing in pageants has taught me it's not about me, that it's about others. And it has helped push me back and put others before me. And I know me personally, as a queen, that's what I want to put out. It's not about what the crown or the sash can do for me, but it's what can I do for you. And that right there, like I said before, is where pageantry and my Christian walk just go hand in hand. It allows me, again, to be the hands and the feet of Jesus here on earth. It allows me to be a disciple. It allows me to be the person that I believe God has called me out to be. You know, that person that God has called all of us to be. Before he left this earth, he did tell his disciples to go out and create more disciples. And I believe that by me serving my community is me spreading the good news. It's seeing Jesus. And at the end of the day, I don't want people to see me, but I want people to see Jesus through me. I read this quote the other day on social media that said something very similar to that, where it was like, I don't want people to say that she's pretty. I want people to say, I see Jesus in her. And that's something that, you know, I hope and pray for, that through these acts of service and through having this servant's heart, we'll give people the opportunity to see that. It's not about me, it's about Jesus. And lastly, that I feel is the most important thing that competing in pageants has helped my walk as a Christian is identity. I remember last year I was talking with my pageant coach, and I was upset, and I started crying, and I was just comparing myself to my other competitors and not feeling good enough and not feeling worthy enough. And she told me that there's always going to be somebody who is prettier than you, thinner than you, taller than you, but they are not going to have your story. And that hit home. That definitely hit home, just to know that, you know what, you're right. You know, everyone has their own unique story. Why am I comparing myself to them? You know, their story is different than mine, and my story is different than theirs. All of us bring something different to the table. And I had to learn how to dig truly to me, to who I was as a person, and what did I have to offer, what was my story. And that was something that it took me a little while to figure out, but when I did, I went in there and I was me. I was transparent, I was honest, I was open, and I had such an amazing time during pageant week, because I knew that who I was there is who I am when I'm at home. I was the same person, because I was able to just be happy with me, with who I was as a person. And that is something that is detrimental as a Christian. You have to know who you are, where your identity lies in. It's not in your status, It's not in your bank account. It's not in your children. It's not in your husband. It's not in your career. You have to know that your identity comes from Christ and Christ alone. You are who He says you are. You are a child of God. You are victorious. You are anointed. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are more than precious rubies. All of these things are things that the Word of God says about you and about me. And if I'm going to be completely honest right now, this is something that I am still working on, that I am still learning. But this is a takeaway that I can take forever with me through this walk as a Christian, through pageantry. That you are you and you have your own story, and that you cannot compare yourself to anybody else. You cannot compare your worth or yourself to somebody else. As a Christian, you cannot let your identity be perceived by what you wear, how you look, where you work, or who you love, or who loves you. I think identity is definitely one of those concepts that once you truly grasp it, it can truly set you free. I remember being so anxious and so nervous right before interview last year at Nationals. I could cry. That's how nervous I was. I was so anxious, and there were times where if I would have said a word, if anything would have come out of my mouth, I probably would have just started crying my eyes out. And I had to find a way to calm those nerves. One of them was through listening to a worship song and also praying. And my husband. I texted my husband and I was like, babe, text me something funny. And he started sending me like these funny memes, and it made me laugh. And then I started just to sing like happy, uplifting songs in my mind, and I was like, nope, Kathy, like you just have to go in there and just be you. Be who God created. Be the person that you are when you're at home. Just be transparent, honest, and open. And I did that. I walked into the interview room. That was me. And when I walked out, I have never felt so good about an interview before. I felt really, really, really good about it. And that night, when it was pageant night, they were doing the special awards, and I couldn't believe it. I won Best Interview. I was like in shock. I was like, what? Me? I definitely have to thank my coach for that one. But I also have to thank my creator for that too, because he calmed me down. He helped me realize you are a child of God. You can do this. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are more precious than rubies. You are victorious. You truly have to honestly love yourself. When you're competing in pageants, you cannot compare yourself to your competition. You cannot compare yourself to any of the other girls, because that could truly like wreck you. You can't compare yourself to everybody else. You truly have to learn to love yourself and love who you are and who God created you to be. I think part of identity has to do with realizing how much you are loved. How much you are loved, how much your creator loves you. And I think once we understand that concept, once we grasp it, then we can truly be free. Those are the things that I would have to say that I have learned through pageantry that have helped me with my walk with Christ, that have helped me grow when it comes to my spiritual life. You know, I definitely believe that God has me on this journey for a reason. Will I ever win an international crown? I don't know. I hope so. But if I don't, there are definitely nuggets that I will be taking with me for the rest of my life. Things that are going to help me help others, help other women. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys took something away from it, from a pageantry perspective or from a Christian perspective. I hope you can take these little pieces of nuggets, these little pieces of gold that God has placed in my heart, that you can take them and that they can help you grow. I hope that this encourages you and that it motivates you, that no matter where you are in life, whatever it is that you're doing, just pay attention to the little things, to the little small details, because you never know what lessons you can be taking from that certain season in your life. I definitely know that I have so many takeaways from this season in my life right now where I am competing in beauty pageants, things that I can definitely pass along to my children, to my daughter, things that I can definitely hopefully be able to pass along to other women in this walk. If you feel it in your heart to subscribe, please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, you know, all the fun stuff that everybody says on YouTube, like, subscribe. I hope you guys all have a blessed day, and bye!